So at the request of many of you guys, I finally dove into this website here. It's pretty new in the ethical hacking space here, called TryHackMe. A lot of you guys have said really great things about it, and I've heard from others as well, and I knew this was definitely something that I had to look into. And I'm just going to give you my first impressions in this video, so stay tuned. Hey, what's up, guys? This is Ryan from elevatecyber. This is my first impressions of TryHackMe over at tryhackme.com. If you haven't checked this one out, I would highly, let me just give you the TLDR here. I would highly recommend it. And let me just explain who I would definitely, in particular, recommend this for. Now, it covers a number of different topics in the the space of ethical hacking, of offensive security, as we talk about, and we'll really dive into that here in a second. But what this is really good for, I can just tell you from my first impressions, is this is I will have to honestly recommend this as a starting point for anyone completely new to this whole pen testing space. If you're really new, you want to get started, you want to at least dip your toes in ethical hacking, this is where you want to get started. In the past, I would have recommended people to start with Hack the Box and to watch maybe read some walkthroughs on the retired boxes and kind of learn that way, or maybe even check out some boxes on VulnHub. No longer is that the case. I must say, even after a few days of using this website, I would have to recommend this as the new best way to learn if you're completely new to this stuff. Now, even with that being said, I would say that even if you are someone that is more experienced and you've been in the field for a little bit, you can definitely still learn quite a lot from this service as well. They have more advanced stuff. Now, full disclosure, I just got started on using TryHackMe within the last, maybe 3 or 4 days ago. Is what it was. I'm just getting logged in here off screen so that I can really dive in a bit more and show you guys what is going on here with this. Let me just launch a new browser really quick. And but yeah, so full disclosure, I've only done some of the more basic stuff at the start here. Kind of working through the web track at the moment, and a lot of that stuff is, honestly, for a guy like me, I would say it is too beginner. I haven't really learned too much yet, but after I complete this one, I plan on diving into the more advanced ones. And let me just go ahead and show my screen here. What I'm looking at is, I'm just going through this. It's a great introductory, right? It teaches you HTTP from the start, networking from the start, even jumps into some Django stuff. And now burp is what I'm doing. If I were to follow this learning path a little bit further down, you see with the web fundamentals here, it'll even show me some Zap. Funny bit of information right now. I've actually, on the job, our pro license just expired, and we're waiting on them to update the license for us so we can keep using Burp Pro. So I've had to actually pull out OWASP Zap in a few situations, and I'm wishing that I knew I was a little bit more well-versed in it, so maybe this could help me in that regard. But then it even covers a lot of very common web vulnerabilities: LFI, authentication bugs, XXE, cross-site scripting, ZTH, and other obscure web vulnerabilities like dealing with JWT tokens, and SSTI, which is server-side template injection. Cross-site request forgery, XML external entities injection, server-side request forgery, which if you've been paying attention to the bug bounty space in the past year, you'll know that this has been like a really big vulnerability that's been found, especially like blind Ssrfs, and it can get pretty complicated, but a very good way to start off if you use TryHackMe, I'm sure. I can't speak to it necessarily because I haven't touched it yet, but if it's anything like what came before, they hold your hand. That's the nice thing that I've noticed about TryHackMe, and the reason that I recommend it for all levels, especially if you're a beginner, because they're really going to hold your hand every step of the process. And I'll kind of show you what this stuff looks like. For example, say I go into Ssrf, which is server-side request forgery, right? They're going to give you an overview of it, explain what is Ssrf. They give you a nice little diagram here. They explain it, and then you click when you've completed that part, and then they tell you like, okay, this is what's actually in the code, what is causing this to be vulnerable to Ssrf, right? They show you, in this case, with Python using the Flask micro framework. And then they show you some payloads in this case. And then they'll give you an exercise here, right? There'll be an actual machine where you can connect to that machine, find the web app that's running on port 8000, and you can actually use whatever tools you like to go after it and exploit the Ssrf vulnerability and answer a series of questions, right? And in this case, they actually have a solution. Don't want to spoil it too much for you guys in case you were interested. But yeah, that's the general format they have for these stuff, and it really just holds your hand. It's a fantastic introduction. And so yeah, just a fantastic resource altogether. Let's kind of dive into some of the other options here just to show you guys what you can get here. So they have these things called rooms, basically, and they're each centered around a different topic, right? The one we were just in, the one I am currently working on, is called Web Hacking Fundamentals, right? Understand the core security issues with web applications and learn how to exploit them using industry tools and techniques. And I must say, they're teaching you Burp Suite. That is a very, very much an industry standard. So an OS Juice Shop is a very good vulnerable web app that normally you would have to do it in a standalone manner, like get it on a VM or something like that, deploy it, and do it that way. But using TryHackMe, they have it integrated with OS Juice Shop, which I thought was super nice, because this is actually the vulnerable web app that I would recommend nowadays for people that want to get some hands-on experience exploiting these web vulnerabilities, most certainly. And upload vulnerabilities, those are huge, so it's really cool they teach you that. Pickle Rick, I'm going to go ahead and make the assumption that you're probably exploiting a deserialization vulnerability within Python Pickle, but I could be wrong there. I've done that on my own through other resources before and got code execution that way, but just a prediction there. I'm not sure that's what it is necessarily. But then you have a number of other topics, right? Windows, cryptography. But here's where I would start. If you're new, go down to these learning paths here. And I must mention here before I go any further that a lot of these things are completely for free. So you don't have to pay for a lot of these things. For the more advanced ones, you have to pay, but literally this is the most affordable site that I've ever seen as far as ethical hacking goes. They only charge you $10 a month, which is incredible. Very cheaply priced. And you have your learning paths, though. Like I was saying, if you're new, you can start in this complete beginner one. If you want to go down the blue team side, the cyber defense side, they have a learning path for that. Offensive pen testing. One thing that I've heard, I haven't done this yet because, again, I'm very new to this site, but what I've been told is if you want to get OSCP, which I know a lot of you guys do, and I'll definitely be checking this path out as well, this is the recommended path to go down, apparently, to get started. And probably a lot of this stuff is going to be very much review for a lot of you guys, probably for me as well. But that is one thing I've heard. And I would have to enroll in it to see exactly what's in here. So I'm not going to pull that one up just yet. But yeah, this is the one I'm doing right now, the Web Fundamentals. But if you're interested in the CompTIA Pen Test Plus certification, they have a path for that as well. And, that's pretty cool. Yeah, okay, they have some paid courses. I guess these are kind of separate things. But yeah, that's available. Active Directory and stuff, which is definitely very relevant for pen testers, most certainly. But then they have way more rooms than just this. As you'll see here, you can even sort, you can filter through them, which is pretty neat. But yeah, apparently some of these can get pretty advanced. They even have one on Metasploit, so you can learn all about Metasploit. I know how much you guys love Metasploit, right? as a bit of a joke because you can only use it once on the OSCP, as all those guys know. So they're always looking for ways that they can avoid using Metasploit. But you can definitely learn some good stuff there. It will help you in the real world stuff. In the real world, you'll probably be using Metasploit at certain points. Nmap, which is pretty interesting, right? Let's just expand one of these, right? And yeah, you can see even with like Nmap, right? It'll give you an introduction, talk about some of the different flags you can use, like the options that it has, and then it goes over some of the different scan types, and then teaches you about how you can work with the Nmap scripting engine, and even evade firewall. So it gets pretty in depth, and then some practical, assessments here of your knowledge. And little conclusion there. So yeah, this stuff it holds your hand, but it also teaches you very useful stuff. I would say even if you're not a beginner, if you just want to brush up on your skills or maybe even expand your skills with some of these more challenging ones, right? We did a video on Hydra the other day. They have Hydra here. You can learn like really in depth how to use Hydra. My recommendation, and sometimes they even have video walkthroughs. That's a pretty cool graphic there. But what you can do is you can actually use, go through some of these, take thorough notes, and then you can always call upon those notes when you need them. So this is the way, I talk about this on the channel all the time, building up your skill set over time. You learn it grain by grain, each thing is just another drop in the bucket, and then that becomes a full bucket of water you have at your disposal, right? Grains of sand become a mountain. That is the approach you need to have. Think long-term with this stuff, and this is a great way not only to get started, but whatever level you're at. Now, in the coming weeks, I will be making more content, going more specific into some of these courses, maybe recording me even doing some of these challenges. We might have a little Try Hack Me series. If that's something you'd be interested in, let me know in the comment section below. I definitely don't want to make any content that you guys are not interested in, but if it is something you're interested in, let me know. I would love to hear your feedback. So if you're interested in just leveling up your skill set, elevating your skill set, as we say here, in security, not only should you check out Try Hack Me, but you should also check out my OSCP playlist, which I'll link right over here. And I always point in the wrong direction. I'm going to make sure, we're still figuring things out here. We're going to make sure we point in the correct direction now. Check out that playlist on the OSCP, and that'll be a great way for you to get started. So I will see you guys right over there. Be sure to hit the subscribe button if you have not already, and also hit the like button to help other people out that might be new to pen testing, new to security, or just need to really learn about this site and brush up on their skill set as well. I'll see you guys right over there.